Welcome to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach.
I'm Mac.
And I'm Pepper.
And we're back with our top 10 games of all time, 2025 edition. This is the last part of our top 80 games of all time that we're doing this year. So you can go back and check out all the previous videos if you want to see what we all had leading up to this point, or at least check out maybe the last couple if you just want to see our top games of all time.
Yes.
I think there's decent amount of crossovers at this point. We'll be having a stats video probably come out sometime in the next week after this one is posted. So stay tuned for that if you like stats. I think it'll probably be similar to something we did last year if you've been with us for longer than a year. But yeah, if you've made it this far and actually watched all the videos, we really appreciate that. And yeah, we're doing a giveaway alongside this, so you can go check out the video that describes that a little bit more. Or I think in the description below, you can kind of see that as well. But pretty much overall, just leave a comment below. Let us know your top 10 games of all time, and whose list is your favorite.
Or at least your
I don't
number
think
one game. I love reading the comments to see like what everyone likes.
that's true.
I
But
didn't
yeah,
like Jesse's response to the comments, but
oh boy, what did Pepper respond? What did he
What?
respond?
This anonymous member of Nacho Average Tabletop. We don't know who.
Wow. Oh no, now I gotta see what's going on here. All I know is whenever I read the comments, I don't think one time have they mentioned mine as the best list.
I just
Dang.
saw the first one. The first one.
did you make it?
I might have made an account, but yeah. But yes, Pepper, get us going on our top 10 games.
My number 10 is this one's been around since the very beginning. One of the surprisingly first games that we got to our collection, and that is Five Tribes. Surprisingly, because this can be a very crunchy game as you look at that board with all those different meeples. Each of the colors has a unique effect, a unique action associated with it, and you're playing Mancala on each turn, and you're picking up all the meeples from one of those spaces and moving them to adjacent spaces, making a path, leaving one meeple at each space that you go through, and on that final space, picking up all the meeples of that last color that you place and activating their specific action with a value determined by how many are there. So that's a really, really awesome mechanism there. And the various effects, whether you're an assassin, taking out different meeples, clearing different multiple tiles maybe per turn to score them, to put your palm trees onto them, or not your palm trees, your camels onto them. That's how you claim these tiles. Or trying to get palm trees and palaces and get some set collection going. There's just so many parts to this game with such a simple but very, a lot of depth to that core mechanism. And the bidding, this is another one with maybe my favorite bidding in a game because you're just constantly valuing, because you're bidding your points pretty much. So you're always assessing, ooh, do I want to go first to get the action that I see on the board? If that's a 20-point action, do I bid 15? Because then I'm only making 5 there. Or do I just try to get back-to-back actions in a two-player game? I highly prefer this at two-player count. So this one is just a classic, should be a classic, and I think everyone should try it at least once. It might not be for you, but it deserves the respect. And it's Bruno Catala, the granddaddy of Bruno Catala games.
That is a great pick, Pepper. A great pick. And I think I've got to get Michaela to just try this one again once. I think it's been a long time since I think she played it one time, maybe
Mhm.
two, and didn't love it. But just give her
probably
one more chance. See if she doesn't like it, that's fine. But
probably like 15 years ago before it was.
15 years ago.
I'm serious because I think it's 16,
I
14.
guess we did have it early on, so
I
yeah.
mean, what was I? Probably
That's
still a teenager.
true. That's true. I guess yeah. I was just thinking. I'm like, we haven't been playing these games that long, but yeah, like Pepper said, it was one of the first games we played when we got into the hobby. I think
Yeah.
maybe influenced by Will Wheaton's tabletop
hmm
at the time. I think they had this one a playthrough of it on there. So
Like 5 or 6 board games at that point. So
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
this one was so far beyond anything I'd ever played at that point.
that's true. That's true. So yeah, maybe looking at it now, maybe you'd have a slightly different view. Granted, you don't always love bidding in games, so.
Don't.
So I don't know. We will see. But that is a good pick, Pepper. My pick is even even better. Well, is it better? I don't know. I don't know if it's better than Five Tribes. I guess we'll have to find that out. But uh, what?
I said shots fired.
Shots fired. I can't fire the shots at Five Tribes. Uh, but my number 10, I think, is the last new game to my list. I thought I didn't have any more, but this one must not have gotten on my list last year, even though I think we had played it previous to making our lists last year. But then I think at that time we'd only played it once, and now we've played it another time.
Oh,
And I
not three
liked it.
times.
I liked it just as much the second time, so it made the list. And I've been wanting to get back to it again, so that's kind of where I think some of my list is games I want to get back to.
Mm.
And this one is Tiletum or Tiletum.
Ooh, nice.
And I
Yeah.
will say it's not maybe the best looker. It's not the best looker, especially after we just looked at Five Tribes and the greatness that is, especially with some of those dice. Um, they actually look pretty clean in that picture there, but yeah, if you have not great lighting, there's some of them that look very similar to each other. Just a terrible production idea. I don't know who approved that, but I'm just like, wow. Uh, I don't know about that choice, but yeah, the game itself is just great. I really love the action selection piece to this one. I think it's just so cool where you are picking a specific action and it gives you a certain power for that action, and then kind of the seven minus that amount you get in resources. So you can take a more powerful action to get lesser
Oh,
resources,
okay.
or you get it kind of vice versa. And I think the resources are based on those dice colors, depending on which one you grab in each spot. So, yeah, I just really love how that combo works, and this game allows you to do a lot of kind of bonus actions and stuff. So,
Hmm.
like, there's even tokens specifically for remembering how many of the actions you've taken, so that you're like, okay, I did it this, because then all of a sudden you might trigger something which will give you other actions. So then you kind of are doing that and then going back and having to remember how many. There can be a lot of thinkiness in this game, but I I really really enjoyed it. I wish the production looked a little bit better, and I think the one piece I'm not totally in love with is kind of that little, I don't even know what the track is called, but it's like the turn order one or whatever,
Oh,
where you kind of have to like meet
it's
certain
like the
do a
King's Favor.
yeah, King's Favor one. I feel like that's not as strong as the rest of the stuff in the
No.
game. But I think there's an expansion to this one. I'll have to see if maybe that gets rid of that King's Favor trash
Can
and
always
maybe
fix
does
that.
something else. But
Always somehow is high up on the King's Favor. I barely get any.
I don't even know how because I don't usually. I usually do just enough to not get because it can go into like the
Yeah.
negatives and then it
Go
like
figure.
resets I think or something. So it's just
Yeah.
not the funnest part. But the rest of it is all really good, and you kind of have to. There's kind of four scoring periods that will happen, and you have to get presents in certain cities to score those things because they are a big chunk of points. So you can either kind of try to move out early and try to put stuff down, or else you kind of have to come by later and kind of just sit your person there waiting for it to score, and then move on to kind of the next one. So just makes for those interesting decisions. And yeah, a lot of good stuff. Too much to describe, and in this, I've already described probably too much,
I'll
taking
just
too
you
much
try.
time. I tried to describe, but there is a
Nice.
lot in this game. A
Yeah.
heavy Euro game, so if you don't tend to like those, it might be a bit much. But I love it. If you love other heavy Euro games, I
Yeah.
think
So this is
there's a
T
good chance you like.
series. This
What's
is
that?
this is considered in the kind of T series
I think
Teotihuacan
so. I think
thing.
it's the same people that kind
Would you
of work
say
on
it's the heaviest of the bunch you played?
it.
I haven't played
I
Teotihuacan,
don't
but I
know.
think it's heavier than Teotihuacan.
Yeah, I think it's heavier than that one, but
Okay.
feels kind of similar in ways
Okay.
to Kenu, maybe.
Okay. So I'm cautiously optimistic about this one.
It's good. I think it's my favorite one of the T games right now. I just need to play it some more. So, out of the two T games that I've played.
No,
All right.
I saw this one was ranked highly on Board Game Geek, and it made me happy because I was like, I don't know, I just I feel like this is one I don't hear that many people talk about, so I was like surprised, like, oh,
Yeah.
people do like the game. It's just for some reason not one of those that's talked about.
Not mainstream. All right. Well, my number 10 is one that's long been our collection and probably is in many of your collections as well, and that is Everdell. So great crossover, babe. We're so close on it.
Can't remember. Did Pepper like this game?
Mm,
Everdell?
Yeah.
I don't.
It's never really gotten a shot from me. It's never made my list. I
Huh.
think.
Okay.
I mean, okay, first of all, the production value on this game is amazing. Who doesn't love little woodland meeples, woodland cards, squishy berry resources, like just fabulous.
We don't even have the saddles.
We do have the saddles.
The picture doesn't have a
Yeah.
saddle.
Oh, okay. Um,
There are saddles.
there are saddles that they can ride on the big animals for. But I really like this style of game. I think Zach talked about it a little bit in the last video where it can be really tempting to kind of really make your turns and your seasons last a long time, but this game is really smart in that it has like a limited amount of space where you can put cards. So it's not always about extending the length of your turn. It's sometimes just about like how best to score and doing the strategy with those pieces. So um, it's just a lot of love, just a lot to love about this game. We have the big box that they did a couple of years ago and all of the expansions. And so we played a couple of those, but I think at this point, OG Everdell is still my favorite. I don't know that the expansions are really like to die for, like ones you need to have for it. And I think that's just it just really speaks to how good of a game just Everdell is in and of itself. Gotta say, love the little woodland creatures and all the cutie little things that go with it, but it's really fun strategically and interesting to look at. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to give it. I'll have to play it solo. Got a copy here since you guys upgraded yours to the giant box, so I'll have to play it.
And take on that nasty, monstrous Rugwort.
Yes, take them down once and for all. Okay, my number nine was my number one last year. Do you remember what that was? And
I
you go,
do
oh,
because it was outrageous.
outrageous. It's the
Sparkle?
tiny card game.
Oh my gosh, it's Spell?
Colorado. Colorado. This high up. I love this game. This is
What happened?
I just hate this game now. Pretty much. Explains it. No,
I
this
do
one
too.
I think you got it for me for Christmas once, and I'm like, what's this? The not gecko, chameleon game. I'm like, okay, this looks cool. I don't know anything about this. And then we played it, and I have loved it ever since. This is my go-to, just quick card game. Like when you think of card game, we call a lot of games card games, but to most people, that's way too much going on to really call it truly a card game. This one is a card game. You are just kind of placing out into kind of like three little market areas, three little collections. You're drawing a card, putting into one of those three, creating three different sets, and then on future turns you choose to either draw more cards and place them out or claim one of the sets. And the goal of the game is you're just trying to get large sets of three different types of colors, which you'll score at the end of the game. If you get fourth and fifth sets, fourth and fifth colors, those ones will score negatively for you. So you only want to get just three types there, plus any possible extra point cards. You got some jokers in there. It can be wild. A golden joker in this edition, which lets you draw another card off the top, which could actually end up hurting you, getting you maybe a fourth color. And I really love the two-player version where the three little areas that you're creating, the sections, selections of cards are different sizes. So one can hold one can hold two, one can hold three. So that adds a little more depth and manipulation for a two-player game where it's just two people back and forth. You can put their color that they want, throw that into the one so they can't add any more cards to it, and things like that. Fantastic and beautiful.
It is a really good game, and it was in our board game tournament last year. And I think Taylor must have played it before. But then he said he actually ended up really liking it, and I think he ended up going and getting a copy. And I think,
See one
oh, and I think that
against
he
me.
ended up playing it with the kids. So
Yeah.
I think it's kid family friendly. Sounds like
Absolutely.
Sure.
that is a
Man of
good
the
game.
people. Man of the people.
Exactly. Mac is not a big fan of this one for shock me. It shocks me. This is such a Mac game that I don't get it at all.
It grew on me a little bit when we were playing it to prep for the tournament, but then during the tournament, I got annihilated, and I was like, "Yep, this is why. This is why."
Wow.
No.
No, it's very colorful. It's interesting.
It's colorful.
It's
Whatever that means.
it's not it's not terrible. It's not one I mind taking out every now and again.
My number nine. I think we're having a few here in a row that I think we're kind of unique to ourselves here, and I think my number nine is following that trend. And this one has been making a slow burn up the list, and I think this year it finally did not go up. Like I think it's been going up a consistent amount, and this year it did not do that. If I remember right, it might have actually gone down a little bit, but I don't think I've played it since last year. And last year I had played it a lot leading up to the list on Board Game Arena. This one is Clans of Caledonia.
Ooh, good game. Good game.
Yeah, so what was it going up?
What was
Four,
that? We
five,
got
six, two. My goodness. Fours
yeah.
and fives. So yeah, this one was going up, and now it fell back pretty significantly.
Yeah.
But no, this one is a fun efficiency puzzle style game, kind of like we were just talking with Everdell. Only this one really wants you to do as much as you can, unlike Everdell. Use all the resources to your advantage, and as I've played it more and more, like initially. I was always afraid of that market board with the kind of manipulation going on there, but I feel like in more recent plays and stuff, I've started using that and actually buying like goods and stuff to complete more contracts quicker. Whereas before, I would try to produce almost everything on my own and be very hesitant to spend money on any of those things. And I don't know for sure if that's the best strategy. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that play Clans of Caledonia and are experts and would be like, well, no, you keep doing it the way you were because that's the right way to do it. But I don't know. It's just as I've played it more and more, new things have emerged for me, and I've really liked those as well. I think this has one of the greatest kind of income player boards. I think the only thing that could make it better is maybe if it was double layered, but I don't know that it needs to be. Just because you're not really necessarily, I guess there's one track on that board that you're marking, but otherwise you're just kind of putting these little pieces on top of little images. So, but then once you remove them, it kind of shows you what you'll produce at the end of each round, which I think is really, really nice. And this one I think only has like 5 rounds, so gotta be really efficient, gotta do everything you can. And turns feel really, really expensive, but it's still
Yeah.
satisfying somehow.
It's like, ooh, getting into those later rounds. I got like 50, 60 money. Oh, I am loaded. Then you buy one thing and it's like, well, now I'm down to 20 money.
Exactly. It's crazy how expensive some of the stuff feels in the game, but
Hmm.
I just really like it. I like how it works. I think the one thing that I'm not always sure on is um, that one piece of the scoring where it's like different, what is it, different connections to whatever that
Oh,
thing is,
the
like different,
things.
I don't even remember what it's called exactly.
You're asking the wrong girl.
You got like different areas of the board, but then they're like still connected through like the water sources and stuff. That part is still kind of confusing to me sometimes. I'm like, I don't know and which ones are counting towards that and which ones aren't, but I don't really care about that. I care about the rest of the machine going on in this game, and it's a great one. Back to back heavy Euro games. And I think finally, maybe it will be reprinted or finally be printed and sent out to people that backed the second edition of this game or whatever they made. So people can finally maybe get their hands on it because I guess I don't know how widely available it was for a while there. But it's on Board Game Arena, so if you've been dying to play it and you've never played on there before, go check it out.
Hi. All right. My number nine is I should have put it at 7 just for the fun of having it at 7, but I didn't. I stayed true to myself.
Cool.
That is Seven Wonders Duel.
Nice.
Ooh, and yes, those horses are accurately depicting what happens in this game. And essentially, it's two players, and there's little card setups, and you're trying to win in one of three victory conditions, I believe it is. Either military, science, or straight up points at the end. Yeah, okay. It's been a hot minute. But I really love this two-player kind of not really tug of war, but it's kind of like this give and take.
Three
And
tugs of war going on.
yeah,
Two tugs of war and points.
it's a lot to manage. Like, it's like you take a card and you might give him like this the card he's been waiting for, or some type of crazy advantage, like because you don't know always what's going to pop out of those cards that are flipped down. And then there's this really cool part of it where if you have a resource in your tableau, you don't have to pay for one if it comes up. So it's like, free cards. It's like, it can be super distracting when it's like, I can get that for free, but I don't really need it kind of a thing. And there's this push and pull aspect of like, what does he have? What do I have? What do I need? Part of it. And I think every time I play it, I just enjoy it even more. Can be totally frustrating how the cards come out sometimes, and there's probably a little bit of luck to it, but I think overall it's so solid, and it took me a while to get this to the table, but ever since then, I think it's just been really solid.
Yeah. Good pick.
I did used to think that the little red shield thing from this angle you can tell what it is, but when you're seeing it this way, I thought the first couple of times I saw it played, I was like, why is there a chicken in the middle of the board? I was like,
Why is the chicken tracking military?
I know, I didn't even know what it was like it wasn't clear, but I know now what it is.
Wow.
You're right, it's two chickens.
Look at it from the side sometime and tell me you could tell what it would be.
Now you comment below if you see what Mac is seeing here.
No context, you don't know anything about the game, you just see this red thing on the table and you're like, why is there a chicken?
A chicken? Oh my goodness. Yeah, good pick, good pick, good chicken. My number 8 has no chickens that I know of. I don't think I've ever confused any of these components for chickens. It's mainly cards and a couple dice. This is Space Base. Oh man. Ooh, this one, I thought it dropped a little bit at some point, but I guess down to 20 feels like a big drop for this one once it was in the top 10. But it's back. It's at number 8 for the third time in its career. And Space Base, I just love this game. Gaining benefits on other people's turns, like Catan. That's one of the best things of Catan. That's in this too. You roll the two dice and activate the sectors on your board that correspond to the results, either the sum of them or each of them individually. So you can try to stack up your lower numbers so that they get activated a lot more often. Or you can stack up like the higher numbers and just hope you hit it a few times for just massive benefits throughout the game. There's a ton of different effects on the cards. There's even an instant win effect, which I have now won with. I don't know if I'd won with it at previous list of this, but I have now won with the instant win. I think a couple times actually. This one is just so fun seeing the initial board. I like the extra cards you get, the variant, the light speed variant, where you get to kind of get 5 or 6 cards and you buy a few of them with your money. It helps you start off a lot quicker because it can be a slow start in this game usually. So I do recommend playing with that variant. But otherwise, even at lower player counts, higher player counts, you're getting a lot more benefits away from your turn. Lower player counts, I think, work just as fine for me. It's just a little bit different of a gameplay. The value of certain cards changes, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a fair pick. I think I'm the one in the group that probably likes this one least, but I do love the gaining benefits on other people's turns. I think there's just a few of the ones that I'm just like I know I'm not gonna ever buy, so I feel like I get the same types of ones every time. So I don't know, but it's a good pick. My number 8, I just realized, has an 8 in the title. This was not intentional at all. I just noticed it, and I think this is the highest it's maybe ever been. I believe, but I played it. We played it last year at a convention. I brought it along, and it's one of only a couple games we played that were mine. And I was like, "Gosh, I love this game. I don't know how. I don't know how I don't play this more. It's a great, great game. And this one might have chickens, and I don't know. There's like 500 million things you can get in this one,
Has
and
an
there's
eight.
Anno 1800,
There's an 8 in it. I'm like, what game? 1800.
Anno 1800.
That's what it should be ranked.
Wow,
It's
wow, wow, wow.
it's good. It's good.
Pepper, you need to play this one some more. You'll love it the more you play it, Pepper.
Now, speaking of confusing things, I may not see chickens, but a lot of those symbols I'm mixing up with each other and playing the game completely wrong.
We all do.
There are a couple of them that I'm like, yeah, it looks kind of similar if you're not paying close enough attention. Um, but yeah, I just love how this game works and how you can utilize other players' stuff as they're building them up. And yeah, this is another one. I feel well. I think I've got now three in a row here that I don't think will be on anyone else's list. Um, and yeah, this is one just like probably the previous two. That it seems like the more that I play it, it kind of just is like, oh, there you can do that. That's a cool thing you can do. That's cool. It just I don't know makes me go after tiles that maybe initially were a little scarier. Getting some of the more of the what are the cubes? The turquoise cubes.
Oh.
Some of the higher up level cubes actually like utilizing the ability to upgrade them. I
Mhm.
feel like that was something that I was always kind of scared to use, and I think in this last game I found I was like, okay, I'm gonna actually try to do this upgrading action to kind of increase them into other spots and stuff. So I utilize that a little bit more, and just as you actually use everything in the game, it just becomes even better and better. And yeah, this one kind of with that tech tree feel. I think it's just really great in building these out, utilizing those cubes to activate, being able to use other people's. There's actually a little bit of interaction in this game, and it's a positive interaction. I really like it because, yeah, they get rewarded if you do use their stuff. So that's really awesome. So it's not like it's a nasty thing where it's like, oh, I'm going to take that and now you can't use it yourself or something like that. You actually, I think it still remains open, so I think they can still use it, and they get like a gold thing, which is yeah, just really positive player interaction. I really, really like it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a good game. Grows on you, I think, after a
Yeah.
few plays.
Ooh, is it going to make your list next year if we play it some more?
Maybe top 90.
Wow.
All right, my number 8 is one that is tried and true, one of the loves of my life, and that is Ethnos. This game came on the scene so early for us, and it just absolutely is amazing. Every time I play this game, I just love it even more. Like, other than the artwork being what it is, like there's nothing I have wrong with this game. It's like we're getting into games that are just like perfection in my book, and this one is like no exception. It bounces around in my top 10, just knowing depending on what the day is, I guess. But every time we bring it out, I'm just like, ah, I'm so glad we have this game. I'm so happy to be playing it. Like, why don't we play this more often? Like, just so good. I love the set collection piece of it, like trying to get it in certain colors or areas, scoring points. Like it's just a super fun puzzle for me, and it just never fails me whenever we take it out. Even if I don't win, or even if I have like really bad rounds or the whole game is bad, I'm still happy I played this game. So that is Ethnos.
It's very much a comfort food game,
It really is.
and it is a three-way crossover,
Good
as it
thing you
deserves
never
to be.
played.
Thank Pepper, you just about cost us everything.
I did. I did. I don't know if I've even won this game
Probably not.
for all these years. You're lucky it's on there. Good pick. Great pick. Deserves to be in every collection. My number 7 is, I think this debuted last year pretty high, and it's moved up even more. I think it cut it in half to the number 1 spot. Yes, it did. 14-7. This is Sky Team. It's coming in for landing, coming in for that number 1 spot. It'll be there any day. Oh man, this game played it only on Board Game Arena, and I think that's a fantastic way to play it, as it kind of handles everything for you, especially in the timed variant. I can't imagine doing that in person, moving things with your hands. But this one has it's cooperative, limited information, dice rolling and placement game. And one is the pilot, one is the co-pilot or something. You're two different roles, and you have different things that you get to control on the main board, different actions you have to do, whether it's adjusting the flaps or putting down the landing gear, adjusting the speed. Some of them you have to each contribute a die to, and then it has to do with the sum or the difference of those dice. And maybe you're shooting down some planes, as we call it, or clearing the air so you don't hit anyone. Um, this is just fantastic. A ton of scenarios available for this, at least on Board Game Arena. Maybe they're in the expansions, maybe some of them are online only. I don't know. But just every game can feel a little bit different, and I love it.
That is a great pick, Pepper. Have you played this yet?
No.
Oh boy. I have not convinced her yet, but I will say, Pepper, I am well, so glad this is one we attempted to get at Gen Con because it definitely lived up to the hype.
Attempted.
But yes, good pick. My number seven is going to make this game a three-way crossover. And yeah, it used to be my number one game of all time. It's kind of settled in a little bit lower now, I think the last couple of years. But I always enjoy it when I get back to it. Don't get back to it as much as I once did. But definitely have to try it with an upgraded civilizations. And this one is Tapestry.
Great, great pick.
Oh boy, evens it up. Ooh, we'll have to see. Is there going to be any more changes in the final six? Stay tuned. But yeah, Tapestry is a game that I've loved from the very first play, and probably after that first play, outside of Pepper stating that he was going to use the Utopia. Is that
Uh,
what was it? What is it called?
Dystopia.
Dystopia. Using that against me, and then forever more using it against me in almost every game we play. It's just sick how he draws that card every game. But yeah, even though we had that, and I was like, I thought this wasn't supposed to be a take that game. Uh, I still loved it from the very first game, and probably immediately like shot up into my top 20, if not top 10 games of all time at that point. And yeah, I've loved playing it ever since. I haven't ever minded the kind of imbalance in the different civs. It's just fun to kind of have. Sometimes you'll have tapestry cards that just match up with what you're doing and just feels so excellent when it all comes together. Sometimes it just doesn't. Sometimes you just don't get what you're hoping to get, and not, I mean, you can still try to get a good score. I don't think it like immediately smacks you down, but definitely, even if the civs all felt balanced, the tapestry cards I would say are also
Yeah.
not necessarily balanced in terms of at different times in the game it's going to be more important to get certain ones, and if you're doing certain strategies it's going to line up better. So heart of the cards kind of thing. And yeah, this one's a great game. Play it, even if everyone's been talking about unbalanced.
Yes.
If you're like Zach, you can make anything work in like some other games that he has. It just doesn't matter. He can always pull it off. I don't know how, but all right. My number seven is just out of this world because it is Planet Unknown.
Good pick.
Another three-way crossover.
Yeah, look at us go. So this one is just a shining star ever since we got it. The lazy Susan in this really makes the game. I love having them spin that lazy Susan. Okay, not really spinning it, but they move it to which one they want, and then you get to pick between two different little shapes or big shapes, and just really trying to figure out like how to go up your tracks, how to fill your planet, how to get the craters off, moving the extra things, like all of those pieces, the rovers, like they're just so cute. It's such a complete board game. And I think the biggest thing about this is they could have given you 6 identical planets and 6 identical civilization tracks, but they didn't. They were like, here's 6 of these
Well, they
identical.
did technically.
Okay, they did. They did. But then they also were like, also, here are like 8 other planets that are all different and like 6 other civilization tracks that are all different. Mix, match, play how you want, like challenge yourself, don't challenge yourself, like completely have fun with this game. And I think that is just next level for them to do that and for this game to like pull it off so well. You can have people at the table who are playing maybe as a first timer, get a beginning set, and you're maybe playing as like the old timer and you get a harder set. And it might just be that like one of you ends up better than the other, regardless of skill level, because the game plays differently. And I think, obviously if you want to level the playing field, you can do that, but it's just so great how it works, getting the polyominoes together, rules that come up throughout the game on different planets, like just so solid.
That was a great pick. I think that one's also on Board Game Arena if you want to try that one out. Right, Pepper?
I believe so, yes.
I
Good
guess
job.
I don't know if that has all the planets or not. I'd assume it must.
I would think so. My number 6, I don't know, but I think this is my highest debut of this year. There's no possible way I could check on that until we go through the rest of the list. But my number 6 is monumental. What a monumental debut. Got this one. I remember almost putting this on the list last year, even though it had not arrived yet, just because I had that much faith that I would love this game, and obviously I would have been correct. Waited years back to the whatever third expansion Kickstarter. I'm like, oh, surely this will deliver. I mean, it's like the third expansion, third printing. Man, oh man, was that a nightmare waiting for years for this game to finally deliver, but it did. And I played it solo, played it with Zach, not with Michaela. And I love this game. Not only does it have a phenomenal production, phenomenal artwork and components, but the core action of your board of just being this. You have a big board of area control with tiles, and that is very cool and very fun, and a lot of bonuses out there. But the core of your deck of cards, creating a 3 by 3 grid, and then activating a row and column of it. I always do that wrong. I always do this when I say row and this when I say column. So you're activating 5 cards, and you get to choose and maneuver that however you want, and they produce you resources, get you actions that you can use, and you have all that in your supply to activate and take the actions for that round, which you can play it either with the variant where you do like one action, then the next player, then one action, or I like to do it. You gather all your resources, tap all your cards, activate your rows and columns, and do everything that you can do with that stuff just to be a huge turn full of actions, full of rewarding things. Takes a while to get to the next player's turn then, so I could see why you might want to play the other variant, but I like that. Gives you some downtime or some time to think about your turn if you are the other player. And man, is that just so satisfying. Building Statue of Liberty, building all these monuments. You just feel like you've actually accomplished something at the end of the game.
Yeah, this is a fun one. Definitely have to try this one some more, I think. But that is a good pick, Pepper. A monumental pick, as some might say. My number 6 was almost a crossover on the number. And this one has, yeah, just flown up to the top of the list. Yeah, it's just been so good. It's been so good. Michaela just won't even try it. I don't know why. I don't get it. Because it could be in her top 10 as well. And that is Sky Team.
Ooh, yes. We need the flight attendant, Mac. We got the pilot, co-pilot.
She's like, I'm the captain now. And I'm going to do both jobs. But yeah, this is This is just a great game. I love every bit of it. It's a great cooperative game, and I think the board game arena version, like you said, Pepper, I think is the way to play this one. It just keeps everything feeling really smooth. It makes it play a lot faster than I would assume it would be in person. We saw at a convention, we saw people playing it next to us, and I was like, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure like a lot of the base stuff, if you don't have the time version, I'm sure it's fine playing in
Mm.
person. But yeah, once you add that clock in there, then it starts being a little bit more like, oof. Uh, yeah, there's some things I suppose you could do a little bit better in person than you can on Board Game Arena in those situations. But then there's also some things that I feel like it just manages it a little bit better because you gotta like turn the plane sometimes and do all that stuff, increase the speed and stuff, move the slot. And I'm just imagining in real time if you're trying to move those things, it's just gonna be a mess. But I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments below if you've played this in real time in the timed mode in real life. But yeah, this is a great game. Great game, Pepper. You said it all.
Yeah, and comment if you are a pilot, if this represents the real thing accurately.
That is the one. That's the one comment a lot of people have. Doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't they keep communicating with each other? Because yeah, there's no communication in this. I don't know. Pepper probably said that, but yes, there's no communication. So some people don't like that thematically.
Hmm. Interesting. Part of the story, maybe.
Exactly.
All right. Well, my number six is another OG game that probably lots of you have in a collection or have played. It was actually one of this OG is like the last version we tried or got of it, and that is Azul. Because we started with Stained Glass Sintra, then we had Summer Pavilion. I don't know if I had tried Azul by the time we played Queen's Garden, but then I played Azul, and I was like, wait a minute, the best one is the first one? When were you guys going to tell me this? So yeah, I did actually just play for the first time 2 years ago. That is quite sad, considering we've been playing this games for years, decades almost. And so I love everything about this game. You bring the tiles out, you put them in your little area things to get all of the I can't describe it to try and get all the tiles, the kind of mosaic kind of built. You break some glass. I don't know if that's what it's called in this one, but that's what I call it because of seeing your glass of Syndra. And essentially you're just trying to get the patterns in and getting the tiles over to the other side. And so it's this really dynamic kind of game, even though it's real simple. There's not a whole lot to it, but when to pick tiles, what color tiles to pick, like that whole game of like when are they gonna pick that tile, or I know they need this, and game kind of subtly evolves throughout the rounds with the other players too. So it's really unique in that way. It's just simple but really kind of evolves. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
good pick. Another three-way crossover.
woo-hoo.
She's got to
Yeah.
play Azul Duel. See if that becomes her new favorite.
I don't think it will.
Ah,
But yeah, it feels like Kiesling does a few kind of simpler games like this, and it kind of just reminds me of a Reiner Knizia style game.
yeah,
I don't know what it is about it, but it makes me think of that.
the math. My goodness. Ooh, from one three-way crossover to, I believe, another one. And yes, Quacks of Quedlinburg. You guys are pretty closely rated on this one. I have it much higher. This one has never dropped out of my top 10. I love this. Even if I haven't played it in years, I love this system. I love the unique choosing of, even if maybe you're supposed to go with a set of certain ingredients, I like just looking at them, maybe randomly, or maybe just choosing different ingredients that will work together very well. Always got to go for that sixth pumpkin from the expansion and try to pair that with maybe a double tile, like ×2 for the next tile, and you can get that move 12 spaces along this cauldron. It's just those kind of big turns, and there's other satisfying turns, but that's one of my favorites. There's other things in there, and each thing probably has its moments to shine, each of the ingredients, and just finding those combos, finding the way to build your bag the best that you can do it, and to consistently be able to get farther and farther along the cauldron. how much you're willing to push your luck, how valuable it is to actually be able to buy new tiles this turn, or maybe you sacrifice that and just kind of try to go for points. It's and even if you do bust, I think I've seen busting like twice in a game, and that person still ends up winning the game. So it's like it doesn't even take you out of it. You think it would, but it doesn't. And I think with a game like this being push your luck, that's very important that one bust or two even doesn't automatically end your game. Fantastic stuff.
I agree.
A good pick.
It is a very good pick. Just like my number five, because we're keeping the three-way crossovers going here, I believe. Although you had it probably ranked about the same as these ones were from me here, I think, if I remember right. And this is one that it just feels like it should have at some point been my number one, or could maybe still get there at some point, but has just been hovering around this top area for pretty much the whole time that ever since I played it initially. I've just loved this one, and this is Terraforming Mars.
Oh, yes. Wow. Almost five every single year.
Wow, it's consistent. Just can't quite break into that top three for some reason. Even though, if I was really feeling Terraforming Mars, it could go up to the number one spot. I think because it is just that great of a game. And yeah, this is one kind of like some of those earlier ones I talked about, where as you play it more and more, and you learn more and more of the cards, and it's like you actually know like there's this card in the deck that I could possibly get that will do this thing. It just adds to the strategies of, okay, I'm going to try to set that up, and maybe I can get this card, or you might know there's some kind of similar feeling cards and stuff. Uh, yeah, I just really love how you build out your tableau and how they all go together. This is one that I've just recently in more recent plays started exploring the science part to it a little bit more. I feel like those cards I was always afraid of, the blue cards and stuff, just because I was like, I don't know, because it's like, oh, you do these, I don't know, add microorganisms to cards or animals or whatever, and they'll end up getting points at the end sometimes. They might do something like that. I was always just afraid of that because I don't know. I feel like early on, I always like to use those big bomb cards pretty much that would just destroy people's things and stuff and raise the temperature and do all the crazy stuff. And I was always like, well, why would I want to focus on getting those cards if someone is just eventually going to smack me around a bit? What is the point of those? But yeah, I've definitely, as I've played on Board Game Arena and played with other players that are obviously really good players, been like, yeah, those are definitely important cards because these people will just activate this, activate that, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 and they've got 20 points out of nowhere. And I'm like, oh boy, I don't know where that came from, but very impressive. I hope to one day be that good. I don't think it'll ever happen though.
Maybe someday.
Yeah.
That's a good pick, and you're right. You are coming around on the microorganisms because that is all he ever picks on the games that I've played with him recently. Just like if there are green cards coming your way, I know you're going to take it. So, with little thingies anyway. So, all right, my number five. I don't think is a three-way crossover because I think a certain somebody would doesn't have this. The resources, and my God, by the time you're done, it's like, hey, I need 85 grays, 6 greens, 1 yellow, and 12 blues. All of this that's how it goes because you typically are always low on one of the resources, and
You need all those things?
yeah, you don't
Wow.
always need them, but sometimes it just gets a little off track, and you end up with more resources than you need. Um, but regardless, that's really all you're doing is drafting cards and then trying to get them played out in order to get resources in order to play more cards. And so it's kind of this loop, and it's so brilliant how it works. I just really enjoy playing this game and everything that comes out of it each time we play. I am afraid to play with my older brother now because he has been spamming this on BGA, but we'll see when we next get it to the table.
Yeah, I think he's going to be very, very good at this game now.
Yeah, I'm
And he
afraid.
was already good at it, but I think it's going to be next level now.
Yeah.
Oh boy. It was my 31 in the first year that we did this, so there's that. little bit of crossover.
Wow, there's that.
But it's a good game. Good game. But not as good as one that is not on your list, Mac, but is a crossover otherwise with Zach. And it's a wild, crazy, mad game. And that is Cthulhu Death May Die. I don't know why Mac doesn't. She's played the game. Well, you did lose it a couple times with her. Maybe we disappointed her. We
You guys knocked this up and you're like, this is gonna be outrageous fun, like big moments, big memory makers. And I remember sitting there playing it. We lost both versions or times we played each story, and I was just like, that was nothing but sad.
we almost never lose, Mac. We're sorry. We're sorry.
And then I came and we lost too.
Oh man. But it's phenomenal. This game is so much fun. I'm not into the Cthulhu kind of mythos, all that stuff. But once I watched a playthrough of this and saw it's just moving around, having all the baddies on the tiles follow you from space to space, so you're just gathering them up, and hopefully gearing up for some big action where you can just attack all of them with like 7 dice. Maybe just wipe out pretty much everything on the board. Just those kind of moments are so cinematic and memorable and just crazy, wacky, fun. That's what the game's all about. Upgrading your characters, going closer to losing the game because you're going down this track. Once you get to the end, your character dies. But as you go along the way, you're unlocking abilities every single time you do it. It's satisfying. And the core structure of the turn, when I think of these, used to think of these kind of dungeon crawls, I'd be like, oh, so many rules and little things that you got to remember and effects and stuff like that. The core of this game is very simple and it just makes it so approachable and it deserves to be because it's supposed to be a very light, fun type of atmosphere for also being very monstrous and scary at the same time.
So that is a good pick, Pepper. We don't have a ton of like dice chucking style games, so this one's always fun to bring out for that experience. And I really like that mechanism of the dying where it's like you can only lose so much health at a time and it's kind of like a stopper. I really like that in games where there's a sort of combat element where you
Yeah.
can eventually die. It is nice that it's like, okay, well the worst I can take is this.
Yeah.
And then getting to that actually, yeah, usually gets you a benefit. So it's also
Yeah.
double goodness. But my number four, we're getting back to the three-way crossovers. You guys both had this one much higher. I think. Oh, I think I might be wrong. I believe Pepper had this one on his list, unless he's crazy. He's been playing too much Cthulhu Death May Die, and this one is was my number one last year, I believe, and it fell back to number four. I don't know why. I'm not really sure. These are all interchangeable at this point. They're just so high and they're all good games. This one's Castle of Burgundy.
Good game. Good game. It is a three-way crossover.
It is. I couldn't remember. Wow, you guys had it like, wow, long time ago. Long time ago. Let us know in the comments below if you watched that video where they talked about how great of a game this is. And yeah, Stefan Feld's masterpiece. Even though some people are now maybe calling it Civolution his masterpiece, this is much better. And yeah, you get these two dice that you roll. Sure, if you get sometimes, especially towards the end of the game, if you're just getting really bad rolls, it can really feel like it hurts. It can really feel like it hurts because it's like, I even had, you might have even had like three of the mitigating worker guys, and it's just like, have to burn them in that, maybe second or third to last turn, then you roll again, and it's like, I just used all those in the last one just to try to get these last few actions I want to do done. That part's probably the most potentially frustrating part, but otherwise, there's a lot of things you can do, a lot of options of you can pick this tile or pick that one, and then place it out. And I I feel like every kind of different unique thing, the animals, the waterways, the um, definitely the buildings, the beige buildings and stuff, are all very unique and fun. It all comes together. I don't know. It seems like from game to game, I like to go for different ones of those, and I think it's very dependent on the board. Because we have different starting board options. I think that can really change the game because some of them will have like one huge field for animals. So it's like if you can just get a ton of the same animal and keep triggering that, that is going to be a ton of points, and you have to really watch out to make sure if someone's starting to do that, that you do not allow them to get more of those same animals. Because that could be very, very bad. Even though I'm terrible at that, I usually let them just get those animals and they score like 100 points just in animals. It's
That's
terrible.
not true because I get animals because you guys take pity on me and I never score that bad. Well,
Well, I don't think you've played on that map that I'm talking
oh,
about.
okay.
No, it's a great, great game. If you like point salad style games, this one's awesome.
All right. Good pick. Well, my number four is not going to be a three-way crossover because only one of you gave it the respect it deserved by putting it on your list. And I got to say, I'm ashamed of you, Zach Valentine. Jesse, my man, Red Rising, we stand.
Oh, yes.
We still got three numbers.
Yeah, sure.
He did state outright, this will not make my list, but we'll see if he was playing us. It was a work all along.
Yeah. If this all of a sudden lands in his top 10, I would fall off my chair. But Red Rising is just the epitome of hand management for me. Like, I love this game. It is literally all you're doing is managing your hand, trying to like amass a wild amount of points. There's a couple other things like the Institute and other tracks that kind of help you get points, but your main points are going to be your cards. And it's just so satisfying to try and piece together that whole puzzle of like, if I put this down, I pick this up, what, like, here's what we do kind of a thing. And then you walk away with 300, 400 points. It's just amazing. It's just amazing to do that. And on top of this, I read the IP behind the game and it's so fun to like see the characters come to life in this way and kind of how they cleverly make them interact. And Jamie is a fan of this IP, so I think he did a lot of care and caution with this one, and I think it really shows through because it's just stellar. Like, I know maybe it's not everyone's cup of tea to just hand manage like that, but when you put together a run of cards that just work together, it is so satisfying to like count them off and be like, this card goes with this card, which goes with this card, and this card, and all of a sudden you're up to 300 points and you're like, yeah. So,
Good. That is.
I don't know.
And then when you get that 300 to 400 points, you realize all the rest of the stuff you were doing in the game was pointless.
Sometimes. I mean, it can be helpful. You don't want to fall behind. Because the three little tracks are the win conditions. So,
Triggers the end game.
yeah.
Not the win condition.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have won this game a lot more. And that was the win condition.
Okay.
No.
Yep.
But yeah,
It's a good game.
the other day I did. I just opened up my copy. I looked at the cards. I didn't play the game. I just looked at the cards and tried to make a great hand of cards. And I'm like, oh, it's just so fun looking at those.
It is.
So I totally agree on that. So we go from this IP-based game here to my number three that is got a lot of IPs involved with
Oh,
it.
boy.
And
I'm thinking, is this going to be a three-way crossover on three?
it could be.
Or did someone already name it?
It could be.
Um,
She's ruin everything. She's gotta ruin everything just like they ruined everything with this game, which is why I used Pub Meeple. I said I didn't massage anything. I massaged this one from number 2 to number 3 just out of protest because they said, no, we're not gonna put Godzilla in Unmatched. We're not gonna put Kong in Unmatched. So you lost the space. You could have been number 2 for 2 years in a row. But I couldn't take it off my list entirely because this game, unmatched, the whole system, all the characters, dozens and dozens of characters, and the cooperative version, everything for this game is so amazing. Each character feels unique. Some feel better than others. Some fit your playstyle better than others. So look around and try to find those characters that you just absolutely adore. There should be something for you, even if maybe this game isn't totally your style. And if you like cooperative games, it pretty much doubles the entire content of the game because you get to play all those characters cooperatively now. And it's just something very special. It's another one, like you said, these games up this high could just as easily be favorite number one game of all time.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great pick, Pepper. Great pick and great number. We've got a crossover on the number with Unmatched. It would have been nice to be a three-way crossover on number three.
32, Mac. Oh my
That's
goodness.
how they
I don't
know
know
it's
what she was thinking.
scripted.
I don't know what she was even thinking.
There's
But yeah,
free in it.
everything Pepper says is great, and yeah, unfortunately, had to be kept back because of that Godzilla and Kong controversy. It's not really a controversy at all. We're just making it one.
I mean, we could put Godzilla in on our own.
I don't know. He's going to take up a lot of the map, and that's the problem they've got with it. But no, I love this one. I love all the characters. I'm going to get to learn about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles here this year. It sounds like, and yeah, they keep exploring these IPs that I don't really I've heard of, but I don't really have any interaction with them. I think
Yeah.
that what was the other recent one? I was going to say
Witcher.
Deadpool, not Deadpool.
The Witcher?
No,
Um,
not The Witcher.
Hellboy?
Hellboy.
Oh,
Hellboy.
Yes. Basically Daredevil, whatever. Deadpool. Hellboy. No, this is a great game. Mac, I can't believe you have it so low.
I love it. I just love other games more.
Wow.
And well, my number three is is like an OG to our collection. This one never misses, always good. Lanterns, the Harvest Festival is beyond amazing, and you guys do not show it the respect it deserves.
That's okay. I showed his respect.
58 is way too high for this game.
Wow.
It's so beautiful. Everything about this works out so wonderfully. Like placing your lanterns, getting the sets, matching the special icons in the middle, and then just being like, all right, time to get another one, and another one, and another one. Like, it's so good. And I don't know. There's a lot of great things about it. It's so simple and so clean in that way. I feel like it's so approachable for so many people. And I just really enjoy playing it. It is one game that made it out of our 10 by 10 with me liking it more as opposed to being like, I never want to play that again. So it really strongly recommends itself.
Sorry, I was giving that weird look because I just looked at that person down in the one picture. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that I don't know why.
I guess they're blocking. They're maybe making a block.
That's
Trying to
true.
stop
That's
someone from taking that
That's not
spot.
how you play the game, sir.
Well, they might
all
be
they need
blocking. They
is
might not have a good one.
they just need whatever's pointing towards them. That's all they
Exactly.
need. One card.
It's
Yeah,
true.
great game. Great game. One of the few games our grandmother has actually played, and
Shockingly.
still shocks me to this day. Good pick. Good pick. It should be on my list. I am so sorry. Please forgive me for not having it on there. But oh boy. This next one, my number two, keeps getting robbed. I want this game to be my number one. I want it to wear the crown at some point. But Bunny Kingdom, there is no king, there is no crown in this kingdom. Bunny Kingdom is number two. It's gone from three to two to two to three to two. It's just hopping up and down right at those two spots. Someday this has got to be number one. I love this game so much. Not only is it one of the best looking games, other than weirdly having like you have the nice pink bunnies, the yellow bunnies, the expansion brings purple bunnies, but then you have like black bunnies and like the red is kind of dark, and I'm like, that doesn't match the kind of Eastery tone. So other than that, components are absolutely phenomenal. The board, vibrant, bright, colorful. The expansion board is one of the best expansions in our collection, maybe my number one, and it just makes everything, even the things that were lesser in the original game, it makes those better. So phenomenal expansion. But just the core turn of drafting cards, getting multiple cards per turn if you're playing at more than two players, two, possibly three cards per turn, to take spaces onto this grid board, try to connect all your bunnies, get castles, special resources, end game scoring cards that can be huge amount of points. Like you can score hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of points. Um, Maybe not hundreds and hundreds and hundreds in just the end game scoring cards, but you can get multiple hundreds, and you cannot just go by where people are at the end of the game. Once you go in there, end game scoring can change everything. Gosh, I love this game, and you guys have it way too low or high or whatever you want to call it. But it's a three-way. It's a three-way, and I'm happy with that.
Yes,
It's a
this
good
is
pick.
so one I want to get back to the table some more.
Agreed.
Good pick. My number two is one that I think will become a three-way crossover here, and it's one that I've played over 100 times in the last couple months. Um, and yeah, this one maybe should have been my number one. I was going back and forth on it, and it probably would have if I had played with all the expansion content, but all those hundreds of plays have all been base game. So
Is
I
this
don't know if I'm
breaking?
gonna say I'm sick of it. I still love going in, seeing what my starting hand is, but I feel like now I just am like immediately have a feeling. Once I get that starting hand and see those starting cards, see the goals, and I either have a good feeling or a bad feeling. It's like, oh no, I'm gonna have to dig for something on this one. I'm gonna have to hope I get something. And this game is Wingspan.
Oh boy, it breaks the tie.
Oof. It I was wondering this as we were talking about games that haven't made number one. I don't know how this one hasn't made number
Yeah.
one. Maybe if I had considered that, I probably would have put it at the top this year. It deserves to be number one. But it's number two, I guess. And Pepper's putting a bird in there that is not in the base game, so I don't have any clue what it does. Uh, but yeah, this is just a solid game. I know a lot of people seem to like to hate this one. I love the theme, and I love that they finally came out with the fin span, the fish version of it as well, and that one is actually different enough that it may have made my list earlier. You'll have to go check it out if you have not watched our previous videos. But yeah, I don't know what if you don't know about this game yet, definitely go check it out. It's an amazing game. I think there's a lot of like online app versions of this game too that are all really, really good. So you can check it out there too if you don't want to get the physical copy of it. I think it's on Board Game. Well, obviously on Board Game Arena. That's where I'm getting my hundreds of plays. But yeah, it's an amazing game. And once I'm done with the World Series of Board Gaming, I need to play this one with some expansion content because I am just itching for that. Expansion birds, at least.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good pick. Good pick. All right, my number two is a game that I have loved for quite a long time. And it's really just a colorful little map making game, Cartographers.
She
What?
did used to love it. She used to love it.
Shocked. Yes, this has
Yes.
been my one for many, many years. I decided to switch it up a little bit this year, and I will explain why when I say my number one. But I still love this game implicitly. Like all the different ways that you can play this game, like the different scoring, which way they come out in, all the different maps now with the hero expansion. It's just so unique, and like you can play as simple or as technical as you want because of all this content now. And I really do recommend you use colored pencils or crayons or something because that will absolutely improve the experience by like 1,000%. But even without that, I would still love the game. Just trying to get things to fit in the right way, trying to meet certain goals or objects for scoring is just so far like right up my alley. I love it.
That was
Yeah, I agree that it's a really good one. And if I wish I
Thanks.
could draw, I wish I could draw like that person in the middle picture
Yeah,
there.
they don't look like that usually, no.
You're a great artist, maybe, but yeah, he's a great pick.
oh boy. My number one game of all time. This is the only thing you really have to watch is these three number one games. This one might have debuted on the list last year. Do you know what it is, Zach? It's a crossover with you from earlier in the
I think
list.
I know what it
This
is.
list, this 10.
Not no in the overall list.
No, and I was trying to think of it, and I gave up. I was like, I don't remember what he has and what I had, or what's still out there. And I have not looked at your previous list recently. So
Well, you should have. What do you think it is, Mac?
Does it start with an H?
Yes, it does.
Hadrian's Wall.
Heat, paddle to the metal.
I I did look and I saw Heat from my list on Mac's thing here, and I was like, did Pepper say Heat yet? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure he did. I think he said it before I said it.
Oh
Nope.
man,
Wow, he did not say it.
I did not. I was hoping you wouldn't. Yeah, I was hoping that we'd take a break between filming last list and this one, so you'd have time to forget that it wasn't a crossover when you did it. Because like, I don't want him to figure it out. Oh, Heat, Pub Meeple. I just kept choosing Heat over everything else because it's the game that has grown from initially being skeptical about all the hype to playing it and saying, yes, this does deliver what I want from a racing game, the excitement at every long stretch going as fast as you possibly can, to having to slow down to a halt for the two corner and upgrading your gear, getting special cards through the championship system. We just played a big tournament of this one in June or July. I forget how long ago it was now, but we did 16 games of it there. Go check those out on Board Game Arena. And like Lanterns with you, Mac, this just made me love the game even more. It is holding up with the test of dozens of plays. Absolutely love this game.
It's a great game, and I was curious if this one would go high in your list this year, early on, and then I just kind of totally forgotten about it. Thought you had said it in like the 20s or something, I think. So yeah, that is a great pick, great number one, Pepper, that Michaela doesn't like, and as of now, she does not really like my number one either. Do you know what my number one is, Pepper? This one
Uh,
is one you mentioned on this list.
I made the slides, so I think I
It
have a
is
good guess.
reclaiming its spot at number
Oh
one.
my goodness. You
And
didn't
that's
put it
probably mostly
together.
due to excitement to play it again. And that is Five Tribes. Yeah, year down at way down at number two, coming back hot. Yeah, this is one that I haven't played recently, and I just kept saying it on PubMeeple. I'm just like, I want to play that one again. I almost always think that if I haven't played it in a while, this is one of those that I just see it and I'm like, I really want to play that. I really want to play that. I really want to play it. And yeah, everything Pepper said, I really love the Moncala piece of it, and yeah, I think it works. I think it's the best use of it in any game that we've had that has that mechanism. So,
Mhm.
um, I really love it. Colorful game, great production, especially for being like over 10 years old at this point. It still holds up. I think it's just amazing. Awesome game, like Pepper said.
One of those turn of the century good production game.
Yes.
All right. Well, the last game for me and the last game of our
You like to
list,
drop it this much.
I did not, but
Oh, I thought.
Obsession is my number one game this year, and I need those horses immediately. Um, it has been kind of sitting at my top five, my top 10, really, like we've all said, they're just top tier, could really be interchanged. But this year, on my birthday, we typically always play one game, and this is the game I asked to play on my birthday, and I thought, you know what? That's pretty telling. Like if all of these, out of all the games that I could ask to play, I asked to play this one and I loved it. And I always love it. Even if I'm having the worst game ever, like trying to manage your hand, manage the tiles, manage the servants, like just everything. It's so crunchy, which I never thought I'd have kind of this crunchy game in a number one slot because they're just typically not top tier for me, but it's so crunchy in the very best way. I just love everything that it does, and I just love knowing how to play it, and it just, it's perfect.
Perfection.
It is a really, really solid game. And
I
great
feel like
overall production.
heard it. Like that's kind of a theme I would go for sure. But I mean, you could slap a different theme on there, and I think I'd still like the mechanisms.
I feel like that theme brings it all together.
It does.
It
It
brings it all
really
together
does.
for this one. But yeah, and it makes it unique. For a lot of other ones that you have me in the desert, you got the merchant all the time, every time you go in the desert. So
Farmer,
you don't
pioneer,
always have a bunch of these, especially heavy
maybe.
strategy games.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was our top 10 of all time. Like I said, let us know in the comments below what your favorite game is, what your top 10 are, who had the best top 10, who had the best number one game of all time. But yeah, we appreciate if you watch this far. Subscribe for future content. Let us know if there's any content you'd be interested in us doing after this, especially with dealing with any of these games, especially the top ones. We'd love to look into doing that. But otherwise, we hope to see you on the next one. And as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on our content.